All right, half a day, and welcome to another episode of KUAM News Extra from my home. It's been a lot of fun welcoming you guys in here with these episodes the past few months. So we've got another one today, and I want to thank you for watching wherever it is that you're watching. If it's online, on YouTube, on Facebook, on social media, Instagram, wherever it is, KUAM.com, we really appreciate it. So today, it's a special one. My guest is a dude that normally I would have on when we want some champion original Chamorro music. We would go to Eric Borja, but today it's a little different, Eric. So half a day and welcome to the show.
Half a day, Andy. It's always a pleasure.
It's always great talking to you, and when we have talked to you in the past on Live Local Fridays, there have been times where you've mentioned a little bit about your journey through recovery. So that's why I wanted to interview you today. September is National Recovery Month, and this is something that our island community people deal with individually and as a family unit a lot. And you're part of an organization, and not just that you work there, you've actually gone through it. You have gone through the process. You've recovered, or at least you're in the process of recovering, because I mean, I'm sure you would be the first to say that it is a process. It's not a overnight thing where all of a sudden, hey, I'm recovered. So I wanted to talk to you about it, and you're representing Lighthouse Recovery Center. So first off, let's just start there. What is Lighthouse Recovery Center?
The Lighthouse, the Salvation Army Lighthouse Recovery Center is a center for not just, well, we are a residential program for substance use disorder for males in our residential program, but also in our outpatient program, we do provide service for treatment for co-ed and for those who, what outpatient is they actually come for treatment here at the center and are able to go home. The residential clients actually live here up to 6 months or more, depending. And we provide substance use treatment, and not just for the resident or the client, but also for the families.
And this is something that Lighthouse Recovery, it's a little hard to find information on it because it is such a personal thing. You do protect the identities of, people that go there, I'm assuming. So this is something where somebody can feel confident that when they go there, you're not going to have your business put out all over the place. And you like to tell your story just because you feel that going through it, having been through it, you can kind of inspire someone else maybe that has had their issues, had that substance abuse and needs to get on the road to recovery. So when someone does take that first step, what kind of therapy and things happen there at Lighthouse?
In regards to that, again, like I didn't, for myself, I didn't know when I was growing up on Guam back in my younger years, I never knew that there was any kind of substance use treatment on the island, and it's been growing here on Guam. There's other services also for women, and nowadays our court system is transferring into a more therapeutic style of court, with especially with families in recovery, and even for our juveniles. I mean, the youth of Guam. And when a individual or person who is seeking treatment for substance use, they're one of the first things they would do is get a hold of us through phone call, or again, yes, there's not so much, I believe, information on the internet about it. A lot of it's through people who have walked through our doors, or who have been involved in the legal system that were introduced to the Lighthouse, or any of the other agencies. A lot of it is like from people who actually been here, that how things how people hear of this place, of the Lighthouse Recovery Center. And somehow sometimes they can find out, or some, like in my case, I was introduced to treatment through the legal side. I was arrested a long time ago, and it was trying to get me into the process, and like in the early 2000s. I never really knew about treatment. All I knew about it was, or if anything with to do with substance use treatment, is through watching TV or watching movies, and it's very it's rising. It's the people are getting out there more, letting people know that there is treatment out here. There's services out here on Guam that are available for people who are suffering from a substance use disorder.
And I think that's super important, and I'm glad you bring that up, because for a lot of people that are going through substance abuse issues, it seems like they think that, oh, this is just going to end up in prison or death. But there's other ways to get out, and you need to seek that help. So the most important thing, I'm sure you know this, Eric, is one, recognizing that you have that problem. And then second step is finding out how I can help solve this problem, or start recovering from this problem. And walking through that door at Lighthouse, or picking up that phone and making that call, that's the first step.
Yes. I've heard that the denial is not just the river in Egypt. It's the new word that we use is ambivalence. And first things first, when to move forward, we need to accept the fact and admit that we do have an issue with using substances. I found out the hard way that you trying to get through treatment and still thinking I can still use drugs and try to be successful in it. It wasn't working for me, because I'd end up not showing up for treatment and the treatment groups and all that, and end up back in court and going through the same process over and over. So it didn't. I think my turning point was when I actually accepted the fact that I think I do have a problem.
That was that light bulb moment for you, where you just say, you know what, this is getting arrested. I'm going to end up in prison. And did you have a moment where you realized that you're not just hurting yourself, but those around you, the people that love you, your family members? Did you have a moment where you realized, like, hey, I'm hurting a lot more people than just myself?
Like again, Andy, man, it was the process of even getting to that point. It took a while, throughout my years of using and just living in the lifestyle. I thought for a long time that I wasn't hurting anybody else but myself. But in reality, when I finally had cleared my mind and I stopped using, and this was months into it, that everybody that was around me and who loved me and who I surrounded myself around, you know, they were in danger also, you know, and I was endangering them in being in that life, you know, and who knows what would have happened, you know. You know, this all majority of it happened while I was living in San Diego, and you know, today it's like I didn't realize that I was putting my family, my mom, my brother and his family, and my sister in danger, you know. And it took treatment. It took the help of getting into treatment and actually giving treatment a chance to teach me that it's I'm not just harming myself, you know. It's not
Right.
only about me, you know. So
And those that are going through this abuse, you know, substances and whatnot, sometimes you think rock bottom, life will never get better. But looking at you, your story, you know, I don't want to say it's at an ending, but your story, I mean, your life now, you got the great family, you've got people that love you, you got the kids, you're making amazing music. So you've taken a lot of that energy and you focused it into something positive, and it's really turned around for you. So I think you're a great example for people to look at, to look up to, and to think that, hey man, right now I'm at a super low point. Things are falling apart. There's that arrest record. I got court dates, but it can get better. You just need to go on that little step, that first step. And so people that need to take that step, and you looking back on it now as to where you are now, what do you have to say to them?
you know, throughout the years, you know, and seeing the changes in my life, you know, from day one, you know, because it wasn't my first rodeo. The first time I've been in this process for it took me about three tries to actually realize that the way I was going and trying to do it my way wasn't working, you know. And you know what I've learned just recently, man, is you know, the opposite of addiction is connectivity, you know. And I am a product of my environment, you know. One of the biggest things I had to do, you know, and they said you need to change one thing, you know, when I got into recovery, and that one thing is everything, you know. And it doesn't matter what it is, everything that I used to do in my using and my active addiction, I needed to change and put myself in recovery, you know. And one of the biggest things was living in that and keeping myself in that environment. And it was quick to find out that if I'm hanging out with people that are using drugs or dealing drugs, or just in the life itself, I may eventually want to pop back in and get my feet wet again, you know. Like you say, right? You hang out at the barbershop long enough, you might cut your hair, you know. And up to this day, I still got long hair. No, but you know, I didn't see the change in my life, honestly, until I made that decision to change who I was hanging out with, to actually put some effort into staying, you know, sober in on a daily basis. And you know, we only live this program one day at a time, and we focus on just for today because it's all we have, you know. We have to you know, for myself, I had to continuously do it every day, and some days were harder than others. And you know, it's that feeling, like that, or that thought that, you know, I never ever thought in my life I would be doing stuff that would help me to stay sober today, you know. It was it was a big eye opener. I didn't have any confidence in myself, you know, to do it. And in reality, I didn't want to do it.
Mm.
You know, I didn't want to stop doing what I was doing. I really thought it was just a part of life, you know, and trying to keep that hustle going. And man, that hustle kept landing me back in the same spot I started from. And
Oh.
you know, we talked about you know, a person hitting their bottom, and which is it would be the lowest point of their addiction. You know, you don't today, I believe you don't have to hit your bottom, you know, but in the process of getting into recovery, it's a like we said, it is a process. People who are suffering from substance use disorder or are going through it, you know, it comes down to that point where we have to make that decision if we want to get help, you know, and admit that we do have a problem, that and be willing to accept that help, because the help is there, man.
Yeah, the help is there, and you got to find it, and it is a process. As you said, you've got to build on that. You've got to build that confidence, because like you said at the beginning, you had none. But like building a house, it's brick by brick. Every day you just lay down another few bricks and you start making that progress. Next thing you know, you've got 4 walls, you've got a roof. You've built something that you can look back on and say, hey, man, I did that. It was a long process. Sometimes, you know, bricks fell, they didn't fit right, but I got it built.
You know, I was told that I had to find a purpose in life, you know, and like you said, you know, I've been doing it all my life, even throughout my active addiction. Doesn't, you know, like, old dreams never die. I mean, I believe that today, you know, that I can still continue making music and performing and doing what I love, and still not have to use drugs or drink alcohol to get through it. You know, it was a challenge at first, you know, when I first had to perform in front of a lot of people back in San Diego. It was at a recovery event, and it was my very first time ever getting on stage, and just, I wasn't even singing. I was playing guitar for a friend that was doing a rap, and I was shaking, I was sweating bullets, and just that experience had given me a boost to say, man, if I can do that, you know, I was, it was just a myth in my head that I was thinking that I can't perform, I can't get on stage if I'm not feeling a buzz, or on you know, if I don't get a hit first or something like that, you know. And you know, in recovery, we practice skills, and we do stuff that we would normally do when we were using. But we, you know, we do things that help us to adjust to not having to use drugs and doing stuff, you know. And it's like it is a practice, you know.
Yeah, and you've taken
progress.
It's progress, and you've taken all that energy and you've built on it every day. I know you post quite a bit on social media about how long you've been sober, about how the positive things in your life, the relationships you have, the music you've made. I mean, you've played with some amazing performers. You've put out some incredible songs. So I think that's why I wanted to interview you, is that you're such a great example for people out there that are going through it, that feel like, I'm at rock bottom, nothing's ever going to be good. Look at somebody like Eric Borja and you think, hey man, if I just put in the work, if I just do this day by day, every day, you know, there will be setbacks, but eventually I can get to a point where I'm proud of what I'm doing. And so you're a great example of that. And what goes on over there at Lighthouse obviously has to be a little different during the pandemic, but people still need to pick up the phone. They need to be able to reach out for a social media group. So is there a number they can call and at least just start talking to someone to get the process started?
Yes, definitely. Our front office number is 477 7671. And we have counselors here that they can talk to. They can also ask for me, and we can talk. We get people of all. It's a very diverse clients that we serve and we give treatment to. I've talked about this with other people too, and the first things first is you gotta make that attempt to call. Pick up that phone and dial that number, and all you need to say is, "Hi, my name is so and so, and I think I need help."
That's some of the hardest things to say in the world is, "I need help."
Yeah.
So being able to get over that first step, man, there's going to be some other steps that are super easy after that. So it's just a matter of taking that first step. We're running short on time here, Eric. Before we go, what are your final thoughts, man? Anything you want the people to know that September's Recovery Month, and how they can start that process?
Yes. We do work with other agencies here, and our main funder is Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center and the Drug and Alcohol Division, which is New Beginnings. They have actually, for any person seeking treatment, we have peer specialists that actually are people who have been through treatment and been through the process of treatment and have that lived experience that can actually helps those who are new to recovery or new to getting treatment, and they can actually get a hold of them at either they can call the main office and at Guam Behavioral in Tamuning, or at New Beginnings in Agana. The number I believe is 477-5440, and they can speak to anybody there. If they're looking for services here at the Lighthouse, also they can still get a hold of us through there, or they can call us directly at 477-7671. And again, they can ask for myself or any other counselors here in our center.
Well, you're a great example. That's exactly why I wanted to interview you for this for Recovery Month. And the music, of course, I didn't want to leave that out. You can go and search for it on iTunes, Spotify, wherever. Masaya Hoffa, Eric Borja. I know you're in like 17 different groups. I forget sometimes.
Yeah.
Go search the music.
The new stuff coming out is more recovery related. I'm in the process of that right now. COVID has kind of slowed down the production of the music, so those will be coming out soon, actually. So and it's stories of my journey through recovery too, and how the journey still continues, no matter even through COVID.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And we need that, man. So we're going to keep you posted and, obviously follow on social media. So again, Eric Sijusmasi, can't thank you enough for telling your story and for doing everything that you do over there at Lighthouse.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. That's KUAM News Extra, everybody. Thanks for watching.